Hey guys, Echo 25
and Ultra 34
with episode 103 of Injury Review. Today we have the Power Rangers Time Force, the Chrono Blaster, and the Chrono Sabers, aka the double vectors from Mira Sentai Time Rangers. So yeah, we have now the Chrono Blaster. It's a bit faded because a lot of the white on toys, they tend to fade to either yellow. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. You just have to get lucky. Now this is actually American only. It was never used in Time Ranger at all. And
this was given to the Time Force police when they're in their civilian police modes, and that's what their sidearm is. And in fact, the show actually uses the toy version of this in the show.
It actually is pretty show accurate too, and it is a nice decent size. It's not too small and it's not too big. So of course on and off switches right here.
And it has a light in the front. That's it.
Of course it did come with the holder in which you could just slip it in and just clip it onto your belt. But other than that, that's about it.
The one thing I do like about this design is that it does keep with the time motif. It does have an arrow glass over here acting as the power barrel for it.
To activate the other sound effects, all you gotta do is just turn the little knob.
And it does different sound effects. That's basically its charging move. Now this one is where it's shooting high speed.
Also, the funny thing is that this actually kind of reminds me of the Gokai gun from Gokaiges because if you guys remember the final wave when they insert the key, they have to insert the key and then turn it. This actually looks like like they took it from the popping up feature, put the key in, and then they close it.
It's possible they used this design because again, remember, Plex, the original designer for all the toys and items for the show, designed the American toys as well.
Alright, so now we have the Chrono Sabers, aka the double vectors. Now, these are just swords. They're mainly much just two swords that they use, or they can combine them together.
Unfortunately, the small one actually doesn't have any electronics at all. Only the big one has the main electronics.
And you do include all five of the sword weapons that they.
So you can actually mimic any of whatever favorite ranger. And fortunately, that it doesn't include the girls, because a lot of times in the accessories they usually don't include the girls.
Even in Sentai, they omit pink a lot. You can actually replace them. All you gotta do is just pull it out and just plug in whichever one you want, and you are done. And now this is how it is look like when it's combined into both. Switches right here. So when you press it,
that's a stock sound effect when you're just pressing the button. This is his charge up move.
So lights and sounds are always right here. So it's like a little meter, 1, 2, 3, and then powers up. It's a really okay. You can actually push it in all the directions. All you gotta do is just hold it once and
reconnect it. You can do the shows like beat 12, beat 9, beat 6 for like pink, red, and green. So, there is a problem with this toy is that whenever you change its direction, it will get jammed even when you're trying to disconnect it, so that's the problem. You may end up actually breaking it because as you can see it just jams up. But it can go into all clock positions because again, it's supposed to mimic the different clock hands.
Now, alteration-wise, from this to the double vectors, mainly much sticker.
Again, it originally said Time Ranger, so we replaced it with Power Ranger. But unfortunately, there was actually chrome pieces on this part and this part as well. Other than that, it's pretty much the exact same thing. We kept the chrome up here, and the electronics are identical.
And also, we kept the little clear kind of saber-ish.
Yeah, the sparkles inside the
thing. And of course, all of the arrowheads
are identical. That's the exact same way. They were made out of rubber, and you got all 5 in the Japanese version as well. The other thing that they did include in the Japanese version was the belt buckle emblem. You know, the V emblem that's on their belt, that was included as well in the double vector.
But other than that, the double vector or the Chrono Saber was actually pretty cool. The only downside is that
it has a design problem.
It has a flaw in it. I mean, they could have made it like you could click it outside or inside and just turn it from there, but it's pretty hard to, really turn it.
The thing I particularly hate about though is that this part is basically dead weight. It actually has no electronics, there's no lights, no nothing. It's just an extra piece that really doesn't.
And you can't really do much with it. I mean, when you take it out, it's, it's like, here's a sound, but I can't do anything with the other side. It looks kind of weird. Overall, the toy's okay. I wouldn't really recommend the Chrono Sabers that much because of the design flaw and the fact that you can't really do much with just this side. And also the fact that even if I do recommend, if you do get it, please find a complete one because people lose a lot of things. Especially the L, the symbols, these are really easy to lose because there's no holder to put them in. Now for the Chrono Blaster, even though it's an American-made toy, I kind of recommend it because
it was used in the show. It's scale accurate.
It's actually nice to have, and also the sound effects are actually pretty decent. Compared to what this thing has, I would really recommend this more over that. But yeah, that's it for our review of the Time Force weapons. Join us next week for the Power Rangers Turbo, the Auto Blaster, and the Turbo Navigator. Come subscribe. We'll see you next week. Hey guys, I go 25.
And Archer 9234.
So one of.
Wow. You didn't even let me finish. You always do that.
So yeah, that's it for our review of the Time Force weapons. Join us next week for the Power Rangers Turbo, the Auto Blaster, and the Turbo Navigator. Come subscribe. We'll see you next week.
Turbo Navigator.
Oh, I did say.
Not car. Yeah, do it again.
Okay, Turbo Navigator. Okay.